Everyone wants to make some money in the stock market, but people simply don't know what to invest into. Generally, I tell people to invest in the overall broad market, so invest into a broad market index fund, and that's perfectly fine. But others may want to go against the grain and just invest into some individual stocks. So, in this video, I have two particular stocks to talk to you about today. One is undervalued and high conviction, and the other one is not really undervalued at this very moment, but it is also a very high conviction stock in my personal opinion. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into those two stocks to talk about today. Let's go. Let's talk about Hood first. Ticker symbol HOOD or Robinhood Markets. Now, Robinhood has had a long history on my channel, personally positive and negative highlights. So we're going to get into that, but we're really going to get into why you should be invested into it. Now, we all know that everyone loves to remember the bad about Robinhood when it comes to the meme stock craze. Pretty much, they got rid of the buy button. There's literally a Netflix documentary out about it. So it was that big. And in my particular case, I lost money in that situation as well, not from GameStop stock, but AMC stock and options when I was playing them at the time. That one situation could have been a lifetime opportunity for many investors, especially retail investors, when it comes to buying a particular stock to make a lot of money off of it in a very short amount of time. But you weren't really investing. You were buying something because everybody else was buying it with the hope of making money in a very short amount of time, which Robinhood obviously got rid of the buy button. Other brokers followed suit because it probably was a safe thing to do when it comes to liquidity and other issues. But on the other hand, that is the only negative thing I have to really say about Robinhood stock. This stock and this particular platform has been the best case scenario for me in a lot of different situations. Robinhood has the best UI of any stock trading app in my personal opinion, but I just think it's just a fact. The app makes it super easy to go ahead and understand the basics of investing. So you can start on Robinhood and maybe move on over to another platform like Fidelity in the future. But I think it's just a good idea to learn the basics of investing before you jump into a platform where you might not understand what's going on in particular. Robinhood also has offered more advanced investment types such as playing options. I've done options on the channel as you've seen before. With Tesla stock and Tesla options alone, I've made roughly $10,000 just on the Robinhood platform, and I feel like it's just really easy to understand. And this was just the beginning of Robinhood. Here's my current Robinhood portfolio, and we scroll on down, we're gonna go look at my current Hood position, which is sitting at 164 shares. Right now, Hood is at $115 a share, and I do think it has plenty of space to climb more. Either way, we scroll down a little bit. I'm overall at a market value of about $18,000, up about 216%. And I truly believe that this company can easily get to $250 a share within the next couple of years. After the entire GameStop situation, I feel like the CEO, Vlad, has really gone full transparency mode when it comes to Robinhood in particular. The platform has done so many things to become an industry leader, in my personal opinion, and also an industry disruptor over the past couple of years. Of course, they're keeping up with the times and they've added cryptocurrency as well as crypto trading, crypto wallets. They've added retirement accounts, which I have my traditional IRA on Robinhood. They've also added percent matching when you switch over from another legacy platform on over to Robinhood, which is great because of course more customers means more money for the Robinhood platform. They added Robinhood Legend, which a lot of active traders find very useful, very professional on comparison with other platforms like Thinkorswim, and also the UI is beautiful on that as well. I think they might have an industry best credit card, the Robinhood Gold card. I'm still waiting on mine, but when I do get it, I don't know. It looks like it's probably one of the best credit cards that you can get. All you need is a Robinhood Gold account, which is only $5 a month. On top of that, they also added Robinhood strategies, so you can go ahead and get a fully tailored portfolio that fits your needs in your particular case, depending on your risk tolerance, how much money you're making, how much you're willing to invest. All those kind of things laid out for you in a tailored portfolio that you pay a small fee for, and nothing over $100,000, which is amazing and also an industry best or industry beating price. We have the Robinhood Cortex AI, which is slowly rolling out, but it gives you a lot of information on what may be going on with a particular stock at a particular time on a particular day. You don't really know, but that information is provided to you right on the app, so you know exactly what's going on in the very moment, so you don't have to question anything. Robinhood also launched in the EU, so they got that going for them. On top of that, they have something in the EU known as token stocks, essentially allowing customers of the EU to go ahead and invest into US stocks and securities, which is amazing. Finally, they have their entirely revamped banking suite that's launching this fall. So Robinhood has a lot of stuff going for it. There's a lot of events upcoming. I think another event is on September 9th, so be sure to lock in for that. September 9th and September 10th out there in Las Vegas. I'm sure they're going to live stream it, so lock in for that. And lastly, or I think I already said lastly, but earnings. Their earnings are looking phenomenal. The company is looking amazing. I have some of the numbers here. Revenue is looking like it's at $989 million. That's up 45% year over year. We got gold subscription users. That's also up to 3.5 million subscriptions, which is a 90% increase year over year. The assets under custody is at $279 billion. That's a 99% year over year increase. And lastly, the net deposits is over $13 billion, which is up 76% year over year. So Robinhood is killing it on every single earnings. I expect no difference on the Q4 earnings coming up. And yeah, we're going crazy. Honestly, when it comes to Robinhood, this is near perfect execution for a company that I really like, a company that I believe in, and a company that I'll be buying on every single dip. Anytime I get the opportunity, I gotta grab some more shares. Of course, I can't tell you what to invest into. This is for entertainment purposes only. But what I will say is that many people call Robinhood a generational company, and honestly, I completely agree with them. I will be investing more. Now, let's talk about the second stock, which in my opinion is the undervalued play of the month. Let's go with that. Either way, that stock is known as Google, ticker symbol GOOGL. We go check out my portfolio again, head on down to Google, because I do hold shares here as well. It's sitting at about $200 a share. And mind you, Google stock on year to date is only up about 5.8%. When you compare that to other stocks in the Magnificent Seven or the FANG stocks, as people call them, basically like the major tech companies, it's definitely lagging behind when it comes to Meta and also Microsoft. Right now, I have about 36 shares. Estimated value of that is about $7,400, and I'm overall up about 35% with my Google position. Now, Google for me as an investment is just probably one of the best underplayed value stocks that you can get right now. The PE ratio is really low compared to other tech companies and stuff like that. I think the reason Google stock hasn't gone up much this year is really just AI. ChatGPT and other large language models pretty much taking over the market. People are using ChatGPT to do pretty much everything. And I mean, I've used it as well. I use Claude, ChatGPT, Sora. I mean, a whole bunch of different AI tools to help me in my productivity workflow. But I think people are threatened, or Google investors feel threatened by, all these AIs coming onto the market. And they feel as though, okay, well, Google doesn't really have that space that they normally would have when it comes to Google search. But in reality, I just don't think that's the case. I mean, Google does have their own AI. They use Gemini, of course, for Google search. And they also integrated Gemini and whatever else into other products that they have, like Gmail, which of course is huge. That's your email, Google Sheets, and the rest of their Google Suite when it comes to their product. Now, people use ChatGPT and other AI to search for very basic things that they would normally do on Google. But at the end of the day, Google is still getting over 8 billion searches a day, and AI or any little ChatGPT, large language model, whatever, is not replacing that. And it doesn't really matter, even if it did try to replace it, which of course it is still not going to work because Google still has their own AI, like I mentioned before. But luckily, in Google's case and in my case as an investor into Google, they're not combating AI. They're fully integrating AI into everything that they do. And that's exactly what we want to see. They're innovating and embracing AI as they should do to simply keep up with an ongoing world when it comes to technology. And that's exactly what we want. Now, of course, Google also has products that people generally don't talk about that much because there are other competitors that have a better product overall, but that doesn't mean Google isn't competitive in the space. One perfect example of this is Google Cloud. Now, Amazon with AWS is probably the number one cloud provider, but obviously Microsoft is a competitor there when it comes to Microsoft Azure and also Google Cloud. At 32% year over year gains with $13 billion in revenue from cloud alone. So that's definitely great growth. Not saying these other companies aren't growing as well, but that doesn't mean Google is failing in this space because they just aren't. And can we take just 1 second to talk about the platform in which you're watching this video on? YouTube. Google owns YouTube. I don't know, people just undervalue YouTube. I don't know what's up with undervaluing YouTube. Google makes plenty of money from it. $10 billion in ad revenue over just the last quarter alone. Either way, I see it as a win because that means that Google stock is undervalued. So if I buy it right now, I'm getting it at a great price. And that's literally what I've been doing for the past couple months. YouTube is really in a class of its own, in my opinion. Some people may compare it to traditional things like Netflix, which doesn't really make much sense because Google doesn't really produce shows like that. They used to for a second. And other people might compare it to traditional social media like, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. The problem with that is Google or YouTube has a lot of long form content that you can find on TikTok, and you can also find maybe on Facebook and a little bit, but it's just not there. YouTube is YouTube. There's really no other great comparison to YouTube, I would say, besides TikTok when it comes to short content. And the YouTube Shorts numbers are up, obviously, because they want to compete with TikTok, which is great. YouTube also has over 100 million YouTube Premium subscribers. Mind you, I'm one of them. This is probably one of the best bang for your buck values when it comes to a subscription service. I highly recommend it. You know, Google doesn't pay me to say that, even though they kind of send me some money for YouTube, but that doesn't really matter. The point is they're making a lot of money from YouTube, and that's just one part of their entire business that people, I just think, misunderstand. Google also has their hand in the pot when it comes to the self-driving industry. Right now they have Waymo, and their only direct competition, or really only competition at all, in my personal opinion, is the Tesla robotaxi. Now, Marquez Brownlee, or MKBHD, if you don't know, I don't know how you don't know him, but either way, he made a great video, came out a couple of days ago, talking about the comparison between Waymo and the Tesla robotaxi a little bit. So definitely go check his video out and see what you think. But Waymo and the Tesla robotaxi definitely in the same place right now. Some people like to say one is better than the other, but honestly, if we don't have full-blown self-driving cars, I think they're both in the same place. Until we get to that point where we don't have to worry about it and they're 100% safe, or at least 99.999% safe, then I think that's when we find out the winner. Either way, I don't know if Waymo or the Tesla robotaxi will ever really be to that point, but it's nice to have those two competing in that space and it being a pretty open space for the future. Without getting into too much math and making this video too long, you can definitely look up all the financials when it comes to Google and Robinhood stock as you go about your days. But Google has plenty of cash in the bank to do what they need to do with, and they also have other things that they're working on, like the quantum chip, so they can go ahead and compete against Microsoft, and the ad revenue stuff, so they can go ahead and compete against Meta. And on top of all that, a phenomenal AI model known as Google VO that pretty much does video for AI, which Sora, obviously from OpenAI, does the same thing, but I think Google VO is much better. So no question there. And I mean, we're still in the infancy stage when it comes to AI. So who knows who's going to come out on top? Why not place your bet with a company that's well established, that has the money in the bank to keep going, and it's also making money with a great product? There's nothing wrong with that. And you can also get, like I said, Google stock at a great price right now. I think $200 is still a very fair price for Google stock, but you can also get it on any dip. It's not running like $20, $30 a day like some of these other tech companies are. It seems that way, but like I said, I think it's just really undervalued. So that's just my personal opinion. I could be 100% wrong, but I just don't think so, and that's why I'm buying more Google shares. And there you have it. For entertainment purposes only, those are two stocks that will make me rich. I got a good feeling about it. Either way, if you enjoyed this video, then definitely go ahead and hit it with a like. Check out the previous videos because I went over Robinhood, the Robinhood investing app. So if you need to understand the basics when it comes to Robinhood investing or Robinhood options trading, I have two videos that just dropped along with two ebooks that are 100% free for you to download. The link will be right in the description, so check that out. And lastly, I also dropped a wallpaper pack. If you're interested, I just took a great trip to Greece. I made a wallpaper pack. You can get $5 off with code $Mike, and that's pretty much that. I'll catch you guys in the next video. It'll be some crypto stuff, I think. So if you're at for the crypto bros, if you're excited, lock in. The next video is coming pretty soon, probably in a couple of days. So I'll catch you in a bit. Take care of yourselves, stay safe, stay positive, and stay hydrated. Mike. Peace.